to the show. We have a great show for you today. The Dino Show is bringing to you some of the best divas you've ever seen in Detroit. We have Martha Reeves, we have Jill Jack, and we have Lady Novella, owner and operator of a great new cafe in Detroit called the Full Belly Jazzy Blues Cafe. We're going to talk food, we're going to talk music, we're going to have a good time. Be back right after this message.
They sure work hard, don't they, Barney?
Yeah? I hate to see them work so hard.
Yeah, me too. Let's go around back where we can't see them.
Gee, we ought to do something, Fred.
Okay? How's about taking a nap?
Hey, I got a better idea. Let's take a Winston break.
That's it! Winston is the one filter cigarette that delivers flavor 20 times a pack. Winston's got that filter blend.
Yeah, Fred. Filter blend makes the big taste difference, and only Winston has it up front where it counts. Here, ahead of the pure white filter. Winston packs rich tobaccos specially selected and specially processed for good flavor in filter smoking.
Yeah, Barney, Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should.
We're back, and we're here with legendary Detroit music artist Martha Reeves, somebody that I grew up listening to, as well as my parents and everybody in the city of Detroit, as well as around the world, listen to Martha or Miss Reeves. And thanks for coming. I really appreciate you being here. I know you had a long trip, and you had some good food, and you're smiling and happy. And
Yes.
How's it going?
I'm happy. I'm extremely happy and full. The food was delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wow.
I recommend.
Are you kidding me? I eat it all the time. Look at me.
Come in and dine with Dino. Come dine with Dino.
Oh, she's so nice.
Yes.
Well, the reason that I'm so happy to see you here and what we're talking about is, the music industry in Detroit. We're kind of like the Pied Piper for the country. We started it. We were the original music city before there was Nashville, before there was Memphis, before there was LA, where people are making music now in Seattle. And there seems to be a time lapse between back when you started this great music uprising in Detroit to now. And I don't think that there was a lot going on between the 50s and 60s and now. And I just want to get a little feel from you as to how it started back in your day and what happened back then with how it went on.
Well, we used to listen to Randy's record shop down in Nashville, and we had very little music in the city. We had WCHB and we had Jumpin' Joe Howard and a bunch of people that was on the WCHB radio station, and people came here to join in a music phenomenon. We had Berry Gordy and his scouts going out getting everybody talented and bringing them to a house at 2648 West Grand Boulevard called Hitsville, USA.
Hitsville, USA.
And I was discovered at a place called the 20 Grand where everybody performed who was going to be something, and I was awarded a happy hour after winning a talent contest. But when I arrived at Hitsville, USA, seeing it was a house with a hand-painted sign on it, I started to go back home, but something told me just go on in there and see what's going to happen. There were people on the line outside waiting to talk to this man named Berry Gordy. But Berry had gone through some changes himself to get a record label. First of all, he had a record store on a street called Hastings, and it completely wiped Hastings off the map. All of the businesses there had to move to another place, and there was the Flame Show Bar where Berry Gordy played piano. He would see all the artists come and go, and he wanted to be a part of music. He just played piano and kind of hung around. The next thing you know, he had a record store. Then he said he'd like to get into the record business and met this boxer named Jackie Wilson. And after Jackie Wilson decided he got tired of being hit in the face, they decided to make some records.
And make some hits.
And make some hits.
Right.
That's right. So that's where his beginning started. Then he started looking at other acts like Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Smokey was just a young poet with some poems in a book, but Barry decided he'd take him on and show him how to actually become a songwriter. And they both played piano, and they started writing hits for people like Barrett Strong, who he wrote money himself, but he had Robert Bateman on hold. He had Renoma Singleton. She was there writing songs in the Raber Voices, and all of a sudden here comes a Mary Wells, who was discovered at a record hop for
you
Marv
just keep
Johnson.
throwing these names out there.
Yeah,
It's
but
amazing.
that's how we started. So I was at the 20 Grand doing a happy hour, and he walked up, William Stevenson, the A&R director, a friend of Barry's, who was a singer with a group called the Mellotones, walked up and gave me a card and said, "You have talent, come to Hitsville, USA." I took the card and slept on it. I had a job at the Citywide Cleaners. I'd gone as far as I could in the cleaners, and I was singing on the weekends in different nightclubs, and the 20 Grand was a biggie for me to go with the Levi Man trio and to go in there and sing 3 songs. I had the keys in my head, but I didn't have any music, but they accompanied me enough for William Stevenson to approach me and say, "Come to Hitsville, USA." I always wanted to be a singer, been singing since I was 3 years old in my grandfather's church, and my father played blues guitar with Johnny Hooker. He just didn't want to be famous. And with 12 children, he couldn't be famous. He had to stay home and take care of us. But it all stemmed from the love of music in Detroit, where music came from. All of these musicians were collected from different cities. Hardly any of the Funk Brothers were born in Detroit. They were all collected by the scouts at Hitsville, USA. And there should be a company like that today. There should be a company that will collect all this talent, because there's so many talented people in Detroit.
And bring it around. And you had mentioned, you were at a happy hour and competing for a position to play for money, probably.
I had won a chance of singing in a nightclub by winning a spot on an amateur show. There used to be amateur shows all over Detroit. Every club, like you have open mic, it should be an amateur show, so that anybody, if whoever wins, you give them $25 or $50, but an opportunity to record. And there's that void there. There's no record
or
company
come
here.
back and play.
There's no publishing
right.
house here. And in Memphis, they got publishing houses all up and down the street. There's no publishing house here. So I look forward to being a part of making music more important and to connect people closer to the record companies, closer to the writing and the publishing, and educate them as to how to sign contracts and what to do with their talent. Because there's so much talent here, and it should be.
Right.
It should be.
Do you see something
discovered.
like that? Do you see it maybe happening with the resurgence of Detroit and everything that's good that's happening now with everything that's going on? Could it be that it could be happening again? I know that we're looking very hard into having open mics and trying to introduce people to people that are songwriters.
Let's keep
trying
talking
to get them
about
out there.
it.
I
It's
would
in
love
my mind
to.
and in my heart. And when I was on the Detroit City Council those 4 years, I did a lot for the music business, helping them start an entertainment initiative. I was soon asked off of it by one of the council members because I travel a lot. But there's an entertainment committee that wasn't continued after I left. That would have maybe been the start of a city-owned recording company. Because Detroit is known for its music, thanks to Motown Records.
I got
And
goosebumps, by the way.
You got
This is
more.
great stuff.
You got more talented people here than any other city I travel to.
It just needs to
It
be
needs to be
nurtured a little bit, and people
we
need to see
get
it.
together and form this one organization that'll help everybody. Instead of everybody being independent and doing their own thing, we need to get together and collectively do a Michigan recording company.
Oh boy, and I think that's something that could happen. But what I also know, and I've heard through the grapevine, is that you are you made the very first music video.
Yeah.
Nowhere to run, baby. Nowhere to hide. Got nowhere to run, baby. Nowhere to hide.
Tell me about that.
Murray Kaufner was a DJ out of Brooklyn, New York. We used to go to Brooklyn just like we went to the Apollo, the Fox, the Regal, the Howard, the Uptown, different theaters. We do 5 to 6 shows a day. And I loved show business back then because you do 2 numbers and you sit around and wait for the finale. If you were the star, you did 3 numbers. Anyway, we got a chance to get our music exposed and to learn show business. If you can do 4 shows a day, then you're an entertainer.
Oh, that's big, right?
If you can hold on and abstain from getting drunk or getting lost, You can do 4 shows a day.
I won't be
So
doing 4 shows.
That's how, yeah, but that's the way you get broken in for show business, because it's that. You know, you live it. If you're an entertainer, you live the business, and you live only for your performing, which is what I've learned to do in the 50 years that I've been able to say I'm one of the pioneers of the Motown sound, and I have existed because of the great teachers that we had there. I'm not talking about just getting people on a label. I'm talking about instructions, showing them how to, teaching them music theory, teaching them how to stand and walk and how to present themselves and be performers, you know, not just spectacles, not just little vaudeville nudities.
Oh, boy.
But some great performers and some great talented people being exposed in the right way to show our children how they should go.
That's right, and there's a lot of those people around here. A lot to do, and you know, sitting here this close, and I've seen you on television, and I think I've run into you in an elevator here and there as being a Detroit kid and growing up in Detroit and going to ball games and stuff. I'm sitting here and I'm watching you talk about the Detroit sound and the Detroit music. The talent that's here in the city, and you have a sparkle in your eye, and you got this little grin on your face, and you got this great smile, and it's unlike what we talked before this little shoot, and you're pleasant and everything, but when you talk about the music and what's going on around here, you have a sparkle in your eye, which tells me that it's here and it's alive, and people like you need to get out and help it happen, and like me and like everybody else that's in the music community, we need to make it happen more.
But she should. And I'm thinking about the Dream Cruise and how it should come all the way downtown to the Fox Theater near the Comerica Park and Ford Field. Maybe one day. You know, I got dreams too, Dream Cruise. And
The Dream Cruise,
and
right.
Professor Maxine Powell is going to be honored. She's one of the 2 people that instructed us. A lot of people, whenever I go anywhere, they ask me, where is Maxine Powell? Professor Maxine Powell is I'm not going to tell her age because she'd be upset with me, but they're giving a tribute to her on the 26th of August, next week. And if you love Motown and you love what she did with us, ladies and gentlemen, how she gave us a Motown look and a Motown way, how we can be proud and know how to carry ourselves and know who is the star. The audience is the star. The people that buy your records are the stars. And they've taught us how to honor that and to respect show business and respect the privilege of being performers and entertainers. Well, she's being tributed, and I want everybody to come and I'll pay homage to her.
And that's August 26th.
August 26th.
Where?
At the Hitsville, USA.
At Hitsville, USA.
2648
August 26th.
West Grand Boulevard.
2648.
2648 West Grand Boulevard.
Damn, I've made it.
Berry Gordy Boulevard, because when I was on city council, I had the street secondarily named Berry Gordy Jr. Boulevard. So it's at 2648 West Grand Boulevard, Berry Gordy Boulevard.
Wow.
Thank you, Dino.
We'll be there. Thank you so much. I could go on forever. I know this is a small show, but man, I could sit here and talk to you forever.
I'm coming
so
back, though.
pleased.
I'm coming back for the blues night. I'm coming back for the open mic nights. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Please do. And I know you have a brother that's a big
Benny
blues
Reeves will be here.
We'll
You
get
come
Benny,
see him
and he's playing
at the Harbor House on Thursday.
on Thursday.
He alternates, so it's not there every
So
Thursday.
look for Benny Reeves around
look
town.
for you there, too.
And I'll be there, and we'll come, and we're gonna try and
Lady
bring him here.
Isabella,
and
she's
I'll-
gonna come. Yeah.
Lady Novella, where is she? There she
Novella,
is.
yeah, she has some great peach cobbler. I'm going by her place.
I'm
Some
gonna
peach
eat some of that peach cobbler
It's
in
so
a few minutes.
good.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you for
honey.
the lovely afternoon. I'll get my food to go, and I'll come back real soon.
Well, don't leave too fast, because I know you want to stick around, and your buddy UC over there doesn't want to leave either. I think he's even got a half cocoa in there.
He's in a
But
golf
again,
frame of mind. It's a good day for golf. He's trying to hurry up and get me back. So
we can go putt out back.
Some balls.
You guys, thank you very much. Thank you, honey. Come back again, and I love you very much. You didn't have to get up and walk away, but we'll be right back with Jill Jack. That was yesterday. Jill Jack is today. We'll be right back.
Hey, you want to sell it? What, the car? No, the Strohs.
California baby, serving with me, yeah, California.
Hey, man, we'll trade you 2 cases of our beer for one of those.
Hey, you gotta be kidding.
California girl, I'll take you there. Surf's up, baby, let's
From one beer lover to another. You gonna be out here long?
As long as the Strohs holds out.
Bada, 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 bada.
Rock on, gorgeous woman. Take you to school. Go on, dig your grave.
Welcome back to the Dino Show. Now we have the treat, and I got to go back. Martha Reeves just left us, and as she was parting, I said that was yesterday, and Jill Jack is today, and I think Martha turned around and said, "I'm not dead yet." No, you're not, Martha. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that. You're not yesterday. You're yesterday, today, and the future. And the reason why Detroit has a burgeoning music scene is for people like you. So thanks, Martha, for not flipping me off physically, but with Jill Jack's with us now, and Jill Jack is a huge part of the music scene here, not only here in Detroit, but a big part nationally. She's in Nashville, she's in Memphis, she's in everywhere you want to go to be a musician, and a big part of what's happening around Detroit and Ferndale and this area has to do with her. And welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. And
this is so much fun.
It was awesome hearing Martha.
Wasn't that fun?
And, I mean, her energy just made you get so pumped up, especially as a musician, and to hear her passion, to have that much passion and to still get it. She still gets it.
Right.
I mean, obviously, but even though you did say yesterday, because of her yesterday, she gave all of us present that energy.
Doesn't it
carried through
that
for
interview
50
just
years.
motivate you
I
to
was
do
like
more?
taking notes.
I
Yeah.
was the same way. I'm sitting here going,
Yeah.
we started, and with your help, this great music showcase thing for original music makers that you were instrumental in starting around in Ferndale and at Dino's. But when hearing her and her stories and how it all happened, it happened that way. She started out in an open mic situation, playing for a chance to move on,
Right.
and getting some recording and playing in another
It was
position.
grassroots. That's how they
Right.
started it, and there was a place for her to go, a place for her to try it out, a place for her to learn, and a place to be seen. And I think that's the hardest part where we are now today. I mean, to have somebody come up and say, here, I think you've got talent, and give you a card, those are few and far between in our situation these days, because record labels aren't what they used to be. Hitsville is not what
Right.
it used to be, so
It just needs to grow a little bit more, and
but it can motivate, as you said. It's what's wrong with trying to make it work again? It's just it may be a different, and that's where my passion lies right now, which I've told you about before. Even working with Dino's and the songwriting thing, people don't have the opportunities. We went through economy problems where music was the first thing to go in a restaurant, in a bar, in a they couldn't afford sound systems, they couldn't afford sound men, so musicians had no place to go. We need to develop those, because when we're all scattered, it's not a group effort. She said, make it a Michigan project, not each individual artist working
Right.
on their own project.
something maybe the Michigan Humanities Council can work on.
Absolutely, could develop it. Mm-hmm.
Something that maybe we have the pulse, our finger on the pulse of. But what you're doing has been great, and but just listening to Martha and how it all started back then, it's just incredible to hear what
I wish I was born then.
Well,
that would have been great.
You're reborn. It's almost like the rebirth of the music scene around here. And how did you get started in the music?